Well, the debate is over and now we have a lot to cover. For those of you who are new here, I use AI to break down complex topics like politics with no bias, analyze events, and even make predictions. And in this debate, the candidates were busy blaming each other like, you have no plan. No, you have no plan. And let's be honest, there were plenty of lies in the mix. So what's better than an emotionless, unbiased machine to sort it all out? Today, I'll feed the entire debate transcript into ChatGPT and ask it to analyze who was more convincing, fact-check their claims, and give us a clear and impartial view on who won the debate. But before all of Springfield's dogs have been eaten, take a second to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And if you subscribe while watching, you'll really help the video reach more people. Thank you so much for doing these simple things, and now let's get into it. But first, let me quickly explain how it works. The main point of this video is to get an unbiased view from AI, without any preferences or endorsements. And since ChatGPT can't watch videos, I'll provide the debate transcript instead. I'll share the file, it will extract all the information it needs, and then I'll ask it to analyze each topic covered in the debate. I think it may also look up additional information across the internet, but we'll see. So, now I've asked ChatGPT to provide the topics in order, and you can see the answer. But to save your time, I'm not going to go through all of it in detail. In short, the main topics to analyze are economy, abortion, immigration, January the 6th, Israel and Hamas, Ukraine and Russia war, Afghanistan, race and politics, healthcare, climate change, and closing statements. Now, let's ask it to analyze the first ones. So, ChatGPT, please start by analyzing the topics of economy, abortion, and immigration. Remember, the goal is to be unbiased, and here's the answer. Here's an unbiased and straightforward analysis of the three topics you requested. Economy. Kamala Harris started by focusing on her plan to strengthen the middle class, offering tax cuts and small business investments. She argued that Trump's tax policies mainly benefited the wealthy and drove up the deficit. Trump responded by claiming he created one of the best economies with no inflation under his leadership, and that Biden's presidency saw the worst inflation ever. This is the first manipulation. Inflation was higher during the late 70s oil crisis, but it did rise significantly during Biden's term, from 1.4% to 9.1% due to post-pandemic factors and supply chain issues. Abortion. Trump emphasized his belief in exceptions for abortion, such as in cases of incest or to save the mother's life. He claimed Democrats support late-term abortions, even suggesting that babies are executed after 9 months, which is inaccurate since no U.S. state allows abortion after birth. Harris claimed that Trump's policies would lead to a national abortion ban, which Trump denied during the debate, stating that the issue had been returned to the states after Roe v. Wade was overturned. He expressed opposition to a federal ban. While some Republicans do support such a measure, it's not accurate to say Trump himself has advocated for one. Harris's statement can be seen as a projection of her concerns, but if we consider any inaccurate statement a lie, then it would indeed be considered a lie. By the end, Kamala Harris did not directly answer Trump's question on whether she supports abortions in the 7th to 9th months, leaving that point unaddressed. Immigration. Trump repeatedly blamed Venezuelan and other immigrants for increasing crime rates in the U.S., stating they were taking jobs and committing crimes. However, the moderator fact-checked him, citing that the FBI reports crime rates have actually decreased. My analysis supports this claim. While some areas face challenges, overall crime rates, including violent crime, have not surged under current immigration trends, as Trump suggested. Harris emphasized solutions including stronger border security and immigration reforms, distancing herself from Biden's policies when necessary. Trump linked immigration directly to rising crime, repeatedly mentioning migrant crime, and claimed that in Springfield, Ohio, people were eating dogs and cats due to immigrants. This is a complete fabrication and was thoroughly debunked by the city manager. No credible reports support this claim, and it appears to be a tactic used to exaggerate the situation for dramatic effect. In contrast, Harris's focus on broader criminal justice reforms and systemic issues, with the moderator confirming that, according to FBI data, violent crime rates have actually fallen. Oh well, thank goodness that cats and dogs are safe now. I'm not sure what else to add at this point. ChatGPT has been quite attentive today, and I believe all the details have been covered for now. So then let's move on to the next topics. January 6th, Israel-Hamas conflict, Ukraine-Russia war, and Afghanistan. And here's what it said. Here's an analysis on the additional topics. January 6th and election integrity. Harris attacked Trump for his role in the January 6th insurrection, accusing him of inciting the crowd. The moderator asked Trump directly several times whether he had any regrets about his actions that day. However, Trump repeatedly avoided the question, instead deflecting blame onto Nancy Pelosi and other officials, claiming they were responsible for security failures. He also maintained that his supporters were treated unfairly, focusing on this rather than addressing his own involvement. During the discussion on election integrity, Trump claimed that migrants were being allowed to vote despite not understanding English, a misleading statement since non-citizens cannot legally vote in federal elections. He continued to assert that our elections are bad, echoing his previous claims of widespread election fraud from the 2020 election. The moderator pressed him for specifics, but Trump focused on his broader mistrust of the electoral process rather than providing concrete evidence. Israel and Hamas conflict. In this part of the debate, Harris highlighted the atrocities committed by Hamas, particularly the attack on October 7th that led to the deaths of over 1,200 Israelis. She emphasized the U.S. commitment to supporting Israel while ensuring that innocent Palestinian lives are protected. Harris pushed for a ceasefire and focused on achieving a two-state solution. Trump, on the other hand, claimed that if he were president, none of this would have happened, stressing his strong relationship with Israel and Netanyahu. He criticized Harris for her alleged lack of support for Israel, even stating, "If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now," a dramatic assertion that was not substantiated. He argued that his leadership would guarantee Israel's security, whereas he framed Harris's approach as a threat to the survival of the state of Israel. Ukraine and Russia war. Harris accused Trump of being weak on foreign policy and claimed that if Trump were president, Putin would already be sitting in Kyiv. She emphasized that Trump's admiration for dictators is dangerous and would have compromised Ukraine's sovereignty. Harris outlined how the Biden administration, through NATO and global alliances, has supported Ukraine's defense and kept Putin in check. Trump, however, boasted that the war between Ukraine and Russia would have never started if he were president. He claimed he had a good relationship with both Zelensky and Putin and reiterated his controversial 24-hour solution to end the war if elected. When asked directly by the moderator whether he wanted Ukraine to win the war, Trump avoided answering, instead focusing on criticizing Biden's handling of the conflict and discussing how Europe should pay more to help Ukraine. His refusal to directly answer the question raised doubts about his commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty. Afghanistan. Harris defended the Biden administration's decision to withdraw from Afghanistan, stating that while the withdrawal was difficult, it was necessary to end America's longest war and stop the immense cost of $300 million per day. She highlighted Trump's flawed deal with the Taliban, which released 5,000 Taliban fighters and excluded the Afghan government from negotiations, calling it one of the worst deals ever made. Trump countered by saying his plan for withdrawal would have been executed differently, avoiding the chaos that unfolded during Biden's exit. He claimed that under his leadership, no American soldiers were killed for 18 months, and he would have ensured a more organized departure without leaving behind American citizens and military equipment. He criticized the way the withdrawal was handled, calling it one of the most embarrassing moments in U.S. history. Alright, well done, ChatGPT. It won't be long before we find out who won the debate according to the AI, but now we have the last few topics to analyze: race and politics, healthcare, climate change, and the final closing statements. And here we go. Race and politics. Trump repeatedly mentioned Joe Biden, despite Biden not being in the race, often criticizing his policies. At one point, Trump questioned Kamala Harris's racial identity, stating, "All I can say is I read where she was not black. That she put out. And I'll say that. And then I read that she was black. And that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's up to her. That's up to her." This comment came across as dismissive, trivializing the importance of racial identity. Harris, meanwhile, focused on highlighting Trump's racially divisive past, referencing his comments about the Central Park Five and Charlottesville. Healthcare. Harris focused on expanding the Affordable Care Act and protecting Medicare. She criticized Trump's administration for attempting to dismantle healthcare protections. Trump argued that Obamacare was expensive and ineffective, claiming he would improve it, although he didn't present a detailed plan during the debate. Climate change. Harris emphasized climate change as an existential threat, highlighting investments in clean energy and manufacturing jobs. Trump, while downplaying the urgency of climate change, stressed the need for energy independence through oil and gas. He criticized heavy reliance on renewable energy, but mentioned, "By the way, I'm a big fan of solar." However, he pointed out that solar requires vast amounts of land, which he sees as a limitation, reiterating his preference for traditional energy sources like oil and gas to maintain energy independence. Closing statements. In their closing statements, Harris reiterated her vision for America, focusing on uniting the country and building an economy that works for everyone. She underscored her commitment to protecting fundamental rights, such as healthcare and reproductive rights. Trump, on the other hand, emphasized the failures of the Biden administration and Harris's potential presidency, framing himself as the only candidate who could save the country from decline. He reiterated his campaign's central theme of making America strong and prosperous again, while continuing to attack Harris's policies. Alright, good. We've covered all the topics, and now ChatGPT should be ready to determine the winner. But before I ask that final question, if you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to do it. It's very important to me and really helps to keep the content coming. So with that all out of the way, let's now find out the winner. Alright ChatGPT, since you've analyzed everything with the fact-checking, now I want you to decide who won the debate, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Based on the analysis of their arguments, fact-checking, and overall performance, Kamala Harris was stronger in the debate. She provided clearer policy explanations on almost all topics and largely avoided making false claims. While Trump was more aggressive and assertive, he made several inaccurate or misleading statements, particularly on abortion, immigration, and election integrity, and often avoided direct questions from the moderator. Harris was more consistent and avoided the factual pitfalls that Trump encountered. Therefore, Kamala Harris was the more convincing and accurate debater in this instance. Well, alright then, we've got our winner according to ChatGPT. And of course, some people might think that the AI is left-leaning, but for this debate, I think we've covered everything quite well. But as always, if you disagree with the decision or have more to say, the comment section is open down below. So feel free to let us know what you think. And after that, click on this video where I ask AI who it would vote for in this election. And trust me, it's worth your time. Thanks for watching, click on that video, and I'll see you there in just a moment.